WOC family, Lexima Geno's here, the founder of Women on Change. And what does that mean, Women on Change? Women on Change is where you lead, earn your voice for change. And that's you. And lead essentially is short for leadership. And earn, that's where you're earning whatever change you wish to make. But more importantly, it starts with your voice, your ability to find your voice, whatever that means for you. And we do this through the program Lead and Earn Your Creativity, which is a global program translated into 4 or 5 different languages, if I believe. Visit our website. You'll download what. Of course, we don't have all the languages. We're not there yet. But you can get it, I believe, in 4 or 5 different languages. And I'm excited to be talking to you guys. It's been a while. And so, what is lead exactly? And what does it mean to lead? How do you lead? And how do you earn? What is earn? And to me, leadership starts with the self. I believe in this model that I create or refer to as responsible leadership. And the most important thing I believe we can do is take responsibility for whatever we can in our lives, in our communities, with those in, helping those we love, and so forth. While I believe support is essential, but I truly believe the support starts with everyone's strength, or what I call inner power or inner strength. And we all have it. The challenge is finding it. And that's where the leadership comes in. And to speak on my own personal journey, and you're going to be getting a report of what we've been doing, or at least me sharing the stories and projects that I've been going or been involved in, been executing. And frankly, they've helped me in so many ways learn more about myself as well, which is awesome. And you're gonna get that update. It's been a decade now, and people wondering, a whole lot of things. And I have to say, for the past 10 years, it's been more of me growing, getting to know people, and getting to know the communities that I am looking forward to spend the rest of my life learning about and growing with. And hopefully we can come together and lead change and earn it, right? So when it comes to the program, what does it mean to lead? Let's start with that. And how do you lead? To me, what it means to lead, or what lead is, or what leadership is your ability to make decisions that help you become a better version of yourself. And in so many ways, that's one that I've been in for a long time in my life. And I felt the need to bring it all to something that I believe I can share, and that's the program. And what I'm hoping is that the Lead and Earn program can be what I would say I believe that everyone has what it takes to lead and earn their highest potential, or your change, your voice, or whatever it is that your thing. In our case, the Lead and Earn Your Creativity. We believe you can do that. And I think what's important when it comes to leadership, or what it means to lead yourself, is first understand what is it that I am uncomfortable with, right? I think that's what started for me. And they say when you get comfortable, you either do something about it, or nothing changes. And to me, I've been very comfortable for a long time. For as long as I remember as a kid, I've been uncomfortable seeing the challenges families, in particular children, are facing both here in the States and having born in Haiti and having traveled the world, that's also something that's very close to my heart. So I wanted to do something about that. So what I did, I just went on and started learning about challenges, behaviors, poverty. Again, I'm going to put that in quotes. And what it means to be so-called lacking, right? And of course, you can go out there, you try to understand it. It's a very unique thing for communities, just like we all in this world are unique. We have our own DNA. No one out there has our DNAs or DNA. And it just goes on to show you how unique the world is. And the problems are just no different. Therefore, how is something so close to my heart, or at least something that got me so angry, mistreatment or treatment or seeing children suffering, is something that I experienced personally and that I've also saw growing up and continue to see around the world. And I wanted to understand it a little deeper, so I became a little mini scientist. And what I've learned is that at the end of the day, it's a layer, right? It's multiple layers. It's not just a layer, it's multiple layers. And if you're not willing to look at these layers, it's going to be really tough to understand where do you take action or leadership to say, this is what I'm going to do. So that's what I did. And so what does it mean to lead, or how do you lead? And to me, how you lead is first ask, as I said earlier, what makes you uncomfortable? Once you're uncomfortable, what I've learned, at least that's what it was for me, I became so uncomfortable just going to sleep at night thinking so many children around the world are going through so much. Often is a result of individuals, and I'm gonna try to do my best here to not label anyone as either parent or not a parent, because I really believe it's relative, right? So the more I thought about it, the more I said, well, how can those who decide to have children, multiple children, but yet these children and their families are struggling, but to me, these children are suffering, versus people's ability to make the decision to say, this is enough. So the first question to me, or that I posed earlier, how do you lead? Then the question becomes is, how well do you understand yourself? And I think that's one of the things I had to do. So I went on to literally working in parallel, understanding who I was and what it was like, or what is it like for others as well, as I get into the communities, talk to them, and so forth. So first thing is, as I mentioned, I think is your ability to identify what is it that you're uncomfortable with. Second is your ability to know what is it or that you're seeking. Who are you? And those are the things that I would say are first, or at least for me, have been two questions that really got me taking action. And to me, that's where the leadership, oh, that's how you lead. It's your ability to take action, no matter how comfortable it is. And it can be hard. But I think the more you can understand yourself, the easier it becomes. So I'll get into how do you, take the steps, right? How do you take the steps? And I think there are two ways to do it. The first one, I think, is to truly think about how uncomfortable you are. Because, I think to some level, we're all uncomfortable with some or so many things, but there are some we cannot do much about, right? Because they are not necessarily easy or immediately affects who we are. And I truly believe is how much you care about it too. And so for me, I had to, when it comes to what I'm uncomfortable with, that led me to finding this organization and creating this program, is that I I seeing any child suffers, and I know suffering is relative, right? Because some people, it's their inability to eat. Some people is not having parents. For some kids, it's not. I mean, there's so many issues. But for me, I think it was more so little girls. Having grown up in a country in Haiti and here in the United States too, and knowing how as much as I've known or learned the gender inequality piece of it, and the more I realized that the I wouldn't say angry. Well, I'll accept that. Yes, angry of how children are being treated. One of the things that I thought about is the women, right? Or some of the things that I think about is the women who are having these children, because I believe, yes, it's important, the male perspective part of it, the seed part. But at the end of the day, a woman's ability to say, hey, I'm equipped, and equipped can be relative, right? But at least I'm at a level where I'm not putting another life in danger because of whatever. It could be your lack of understanding, your lack of economic situation, your environment, your circumstances. It could be a number of things. But I think trauma, in trauma, it's, there's a spectrum of everything, I think, right? So trauma is also a huge role that I've learned play into this. And what I started doing is I started learning the behaviors that's a result of how many children are suffering around the world. I had no choice but to look at the women. So this is how Women on Change was born. And of course, having been around women who have inspired me, I mean, I can't even tell you, from the mother, the sisters that I have, the friends that I have, the women I've met in the communities that I've grown up in, they've been, I mean, women birth things. And without women, that just says a lot. Okay? So to me, their power, I thought, well, how could they have so much power, but yet so many children that they bring to this world are going through so much, at least in my opinion. So I decided to take responsibility to engage with women. And Women on Change is where I'm doing that. I truly believe women have and can be responsible leaders and overcome their own personal struggles before they have children or care for children, because many of these women we call women or children themselves, and I'm one of those people, right? I've always been told that as a kid, you sow this, you sow that, or you have so much wisdom, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, I never got to, at least I feel like I never got to have a childhood, right? And what does that look like for, to have a childhood? And to me, it's just having a sense of community where people listen and people see you. I don't think I ever had that as a kid. And when I say see you, I don't mean, I was seen quite a lot by a lot of people, but for the things they wanted me or they saw that was good in me, and it was exploited, right? And I didn't understand that myself, because I think sometimes we don't realize it, but sometimes people see things about us before we do. And our ability to see and then sometimes it becomes part of who we are, and when it shouldn't. And so what I've learned is what people saw me for or as was my ability to empathize, right? I had so much, or still do have so much empathy for people and challenges. And I never realized how some of that stuff was being exploited. Since I was a child. But it became part of my identity without realizing it. So I had to really get to a point where I understand who I was and what is it that I wanted to live for. And everything that happened or every experiences that you had, they are all part of that identity, or what I refer to as creativity. Because those experiences, in my opinion, is what truly helps you understand your journey and who you are. And I was able to say, okay, at some point in my life, I think I was maybe like 28 or 32, when I said, I want to do something about this. I want to do something about so many children experiencing hardships around the world. And lucky me, one of the things that I've had early on is watching women overcoming challenges, right? And so I saw that power really early on. And so what I've been able to do is look at how can this power that I've seen in these women translated to themselves before they get into the picture or in this frame that society created, such as by the time or before you a certain age, you need to have a husband, you need to have X amount of children or a house, otherwise you are worth nothing, right? Or by the age of 18, if you don't have this and that, or a husband or whatever, and vice versa, it works for the guys too. The guys have different challenges. If you don't have a wife at home, you don't have kids at home, you as a man, you stand for nothing, or you nobody. I mean, there's so many of it. So once I realized the challenges that these women were facing and their inability to actually own their power, right? And to me, I realized it wasn't about the children after all. I mean, it is about the children, don't get me wrong. It is about the children. But at the end of the day, it starts before that. It starts with the decision, with the individuals who are making the decision to bring these innocent youth or kids, children or toddlers to life. I realized these women, many of them, I would say, I would say the majority of them had no sense of who they are, and everything that they believed, everything that they felt required was a result of what society had created for them. And so I decided that I'm going to tackle this at the root, right? I like to be able to leverage this program to allow women, particularly young girls in college, high school, and parents with kids under the age of 18 to truly think about how much of what the life that they're living is a result of their own decision versus what they believe they should become a part of. Okay. And to me, and that's where I am. I'm in this journey too. So, and this is what, and I'm not saying having children isn't important. I'm not saying getting married is not important. I'm not saying that at all. You need it all. But what I'm trying to understand is how much of it is the sole decision of these women to seek those things versus putting themselves out there or feel to have all these things just to live up to that image that has been created for them. So the Lead and Earn program is where I'm asking women, particularly young women, before you have children, or if you're a mom with children, what is it that you truly believe you have the leadership over yourself? I'm not saying your children, I mean you, any decision or anything that you may be dealing with, how much of it is 100% your decision or your choice? Okay, that's a question that I'm asking, and you can respond below. What is it that the life that you are living today that's been a result of? Sure, it's something that you wanted. It wasn't society. The pressure didn't influence you much, and it's a lot because you have families telling you. And I'm a single woman, okay. You have your parents asking you, when are you getting married? And I just had this conversation with a guy friend of mine. You have your parents asking you, when are you getting married? When are you having children? And you need to have backbone, frankly, to be able to say, these are decisions that I want to make for myself when I'm ready, right? And how do you tell your parents that, right? When they're like in their 80s, late 70s, telling them, yeah, I know you want grandchildren, but this is my life. Okay, I want to live it the way I want to live it. It can be, I mean, it can be hurtful, right, to tell them that. But at the end of the day, I always tell people, your parents, I don't know what pressure that they were under to have you, but that pressure, you have to think about how much has it impacted you, right? To live the life that you live. So it's always important, I think, to before you say, hey, this is something that I believe I can lead, or this is a leadership thing that I've been able to own. First, you have to be able to understand yourself before yourself, if that makes sense. You have to understand the root that you come from, whether it's your grandparents who raised you, whether it's your mother who raised you, or if you were raised in the or didn't have parents, or in the foster care system, or orphanages, whatever. However you're raised, or currently raising children, or any siblings, or you overseeing for, you have to ask yourself, how is that child raised, right? The environment that they're in, the culture, all these things, and it's a lot. So this is what I'm saying. It has to be one that really wants to get you, that's gonna get you fired up. And in my case, it's the life, the struggle that I see so many children are going through. And so the first thing I said to myself, and I did this really early on. I remember I was a kid. I said, when it comes to having children, when it comes to getting married, until I know what exactly, why everybody wants everyone to have it, I'm going to live my life with none of those things. That doesn't mean I'm not going to go through them. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm making it clear, when I do, it's going to be my choice. It's not going to be any pressure from anyone else. And I understand the pressures, right? I mean, as my parents get older, people are saying, well, you need kids, because especially my older parents, I mean, they're saying, well, you need this, you need that. So they fear that they put around you. And I can see that, ladies, the fear. And I'm guilty of it too. I've done it to my friends, asking as soon as they get married, when know they're going to have children. It's like, that's the thing. I've been guilty of it. And the more that I think of it myself, the more I'm realizing, how are we part of the problem that's causing children to live the way that they do, whether they are neglected, they are being abused, they are being, dealing with malnutrition, whether they are dealing, whatever the situation is. But I truly believe there are some things we have control over before we have children. And our ability to examine ourselves is the first step. You're not going to have all the answers. I have, 23, 24 nephews and nieces so far. I'm super blessed for that. One thing I realized, that you're not going to be prepared for all, and you're not going to know all of the answers. But one thing I realized is your ability to be aware, and to just say, hey, I want to understand as much as I can, not only about me, who's going to make this decision and to care for this life for the rest of my life, but I have to understand, what are the factors I'm surrounded by that's going to affect this innocent little thing. And right now I have a 3-month-old nephew, okay? And I have a 22, I think she's 22 now, the oldest niece that I have. So it's it's big for me as I'm thinking about all this, whether it's the environment that the child is being raised in, the decisions that are being made. How can the individuals making the decisions to bring this innocent life to earth, think and be aware and be continuously, be conscious about the decisions that they make before, or the awareness before they bring them to this world, and continue to do so, to be able to say, hey, I'm going to control what I can, versus letting society do XYZ. And this is where I think lead comes in. Lead, your ability to make decisions, to be aware, to be resilient, to overcome your own misunderstanding, or as I would refer to them as trauma, anything that affected you that could possibly affect the little nephew that I have that's 3 months, the way that I see the world, the way that I interact with that child, all play a role. So your ability to, I know this was a lot, but your ability to lead starts with your ability to go within you and truly understand, what is it that I'm uncomfortable with, or what is it that I want to, and you don't have to have a big thing, right? And this is where Women on Change come in. So I created this program, the Lead and Earn program, and the idea is that I don't care if you're a mom with a 3-year-old, if you're a mom with a 2-month-old or a 2-day-old, or if you're a young woman in college, or if you are a teenager in high school. I create this program to give, or a father, right? A dad with children, particularly a young girl who isn't sure, especially a single dad, who isn't sure where to start, to give this young girl the best that she needs. And at the end of the day, it doesn't start far. That's one thing I learned. It doesn't start far. The deeper you can be aware and not afraid to be honest with your children, that's the best thing that you can do for them. So what I'm going to do is continue to dissect this program to make sure that it's understood by different folks who are going to be key players, who can benefit, who can join forces, but more importantly, who can make the change. And one of the things that I've learned so far is that nothing, when I say nothing, despite how big my family is, nothing in this world, an idea can start with you, but nothing in this world is achieved by one person, okay? And I'm going to say that again. I know people are saying it, I've heard it, it just takes me to do this. Well, you can bring an idea, you can come up with an idea, but it's going to take a whole lot to bring it. And I've been on this journey, and I'm so grateful to have so many of you be part of it. And so I covered quite a lot here in terms of what is leadership, how do you do it, where do you start. I covered some of that, and I'm going to go on and share the earn part, and what does it mean to earn as you're leading, what does it mean to earn. And then I'll go ahead and dissect, like going deeper, breaking down the program, how it works. And one of the things we're truly emphasizing in this program is having such an inclusive community to be able to play a role. And we're making it as simple as possible, that it's as easy as having an ideal or having something that whether you don't like, or I call it your vision, right? It can be a small thing from every day, this is what I'm going to do for myself. It doesn't have to be like me who wants to tackle child mistreat, or I call this inequality for children, okay? I mean, I know there's women inequality, but if you want to put women inequality, mine, it's also there, but with the focus of the kids, all right? So, and again, it starts with the women, but it's for the kids. So I'm going after with the women because I truly believe everyone has what it takes to lead and earn their blank. And in our case, it's every woman's ability to believe in themselves that they have what it takes to lead and earn their creativity and change through the power of their voice. And if you can do that before, if you can teach your little girl or little boy to do that, as you being honest with them, I can guarantee you the world around them, I'm not saying it's not going to affect them, but as long as you can be honest with them and allow them to be who they are with you, you're going to go far. And you're going to learn why once I update you on a report that we're about to put out about the projects that we've been part of, and to share the experiences that I've had personally working with some of these kids and communities and women. All right, 30 minutes. I was trying to stop before that, but I'm glad I'm back. I'm excited, and I'm going to try to post as much as I can about Lead and Earn, because I truly believe we have what it takes, ladies, to lead and earn the change we wish to make through the power of our voice. Until then, again, I am Laxama Janos, the founder of Women on Change, and the Lead and Earn program, where we help you find your creativity. Cheers.